صل على مبيننا صل على محمد.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our dear viewers, and welcome to another episode on the life of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, coming to you from MT International Gambia studios. On today's episode, we are going to talk about the events that took place immediately after the Battle of Uhud. And the first event we are going to talk about is the Ghazwah of Hamra-ul-Asad. I am here joined in the studio by two gentlemen. On my immediate right, I have Ustaz Dembaba, and on his right, we have brother Said Sambaso. Gentlemen, assalamu alaikum and welcome to the program. Ustaz Dembaba, we have in our previous episode talked about the burial of the Muslim dead, those who were martyred in the Battle of Uhud. We have talked about the mourning, and we saw again that the Prophet ﷺ did give an order, and that was the style of mourning in pre-Islam is not accepted in Islam, that is wailing and doing other things. And but the Battle of Uhud aside, now we come to other events that took place after the Battle of Uhud, and the first one, as it is recorded in the book that we are dealing with, is the Ghazwah of Hamra-ul-Asad. What was the background of this Ghazwah all about?
Thank you so much. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. We all know very well that after the burial and the mourning, it was already almost night when the Holy Prophet ﷺ and his companions returned to Medina. That very day they returned. It was getting to night. So the Holy Prophet ﷺ, as we know from the beginning, the time of Battle of Badr, well before the Battle of Badr, he always tried to find the information about the disbelievers or the kuffar in Mecca. Are they ready, preparing to attack Medina? Are they ready to kill the Muslims? So this case also, the Holy Prophet ﷺ did not relax despite the fact that the Battle of Uhud have ended, but then he was vigilant, and then we are told that the companions did the security in Medina that very night, throughout the night. Some of them even secured the house of the Holy Prophet ﷺ throughout the night, so that they will not be taken heedless by the disbelievers of Mecca, because after the battle they suspected that these people are going, they have taken off to Mecca, but they might come back. So for that reason, the Holy Prophet ﷺ ordered security in Medina. So that security was done, and prior to Fajr prayers, the Holy Prophet ﷺ received a news that the disbelievers, perhaps they are away from Medina, few miles away from Medina, but ready to come back to Medina and attack the Muslims. Upon this, the Holy Prophet ﷺ, when he received this news of the army of the Christ, and there was a debate going between these two groups, that is the Quraysh. Some were saying, let us return back to Mecca. Others were saying, let us go back to Medina and finish the Muslims. You know, we quote them saying, some of them saying, you did not kill Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, nor did you take in Muslim women as slaves, nor did you seize their wealth and possession. Rather, when you gain dominance over them and receive the opportunity to destroy them completely, you just left them and turned back so that they may collect strength again. There is still time. Let us return and attack Medina and uproot the Muslims once and for all. Others were saying, in contrast to this, others argue, you have attained victory. Consider this to be a good fortune enough and return to Mecca, lest we lose this repute as well, and this victory is turned to defeat. Now if you return and attack Medina, the Muslims shall indeed fight with all their strength, and those who did not participate at Uhud shall come forth in the field of battle as well. You know, ultimately, however, the opinions of the passionate at this point in time, the Passionate, those who were in for that they should come back to Medina and uproot the Muslims, their opinion was, they agreed to their opinion and they were getting ready, preparing to come back to Medina and then kill the Muslims or attack the Muslims. That was the background of this battle, the Battle of Hamra-ul-Asad.
Thank you very much, Ustaz Dembas. Ustaz, Brother Said Samba, so we see there was a debate, sort of a disagreement, whether they should come back to Medina and finish the Muslims, as they say, or they should go back and just be content with the victory that they said they have had. But did they at all return to Medina, or what happened later on?
Jazakumullah, thank you very much. As Ustaz Demba has just highlighted, that this was a speculation that the Holy Prophet Muhammad Mustafa Sallallahu received, that these people perhaps will not directly go back to Makkah because they have seen that they have got opportunity just to finish the Muslims once and for all, seeing the suffering the Muslim has, goes through in the Battle of Uhud. So upon this, the Holy Prophet Muhammad Mustafa Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam ordered that his companions and his people should get prepared, because like they were sure, or that's what the Holy Prophet Muhammad Mustafa Sallam believed, that these people will come back. So he have to get prepared to protect Medina for second attack. So with this, the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam ordered the companion to get prepared, and in this also he gave an order like those people who participated in Uhud should be the very people who should also go and participate in this order, interception. So, but looking at this, most of the warriors or the soldiers sustained injuries in the Battle of Uhud. So even despite that, when they had the order of the Holy Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, they immediately tied up their wounds and they start going towards this Hamra-ul-Asad. So, and the other thing also, the Muslim, it is recorded, they set out to go to this place with a joy and a zeal to an extent that it is in fact recorded, they say it's like an army of triumphant who has won their enemies and they are trying to pursue them. So this was the kind of, zeal and the joy they were having to go back to the battlefield field and face the enemies. And the other thing also, they went. So when they went for 8 miles, they reached to this place called Hamra-ul-Asad. So that's where the Holy Prophet ordered them to encamp. So they camped there. So what happened after that, they came across of 2 dead bodies. So upon investigation, they found out that it was those 2 individuals the Holy Prophet Muhammad Mustafa has ordered to go and make a finding to follow the Quraysh and see what is their plan, whether they are ready to come back or whether they are going towards Mecca. So this, they realized these are the 2 people. So the Holy Prophet ordered them to be, buried in that particular place, all the 2 in one grave. Listen. So after that also, the Holy Prophet, when he asked them to encamp there, he also ordered them to lit fire. So it is narrated that within few minutes, or it was not long, there were 500 fires that were lit in the plain of Hamra-ul-Asad. So, and this also struck awe into the hearts of the spectators. All those who witnessed this, they were, most especially the disbelievers, that is the Christ, were afraid. Upon seeing this, they realized that the Muslims are around and they are not going to allow them to come and attack Medina. That means they realize that these people are aware of our plan. Like Ustaz Demba have already mentioned, there were 2 views among the Quraysh. Others were saying, let's go back and finish them once and for all. Others were saying, no, we have the opportunity. This is a great victory for us. So why can't we just continue and go to Medina? Because probably if we go back, now what we are going to face is going to be like short of humiliation for us. So it's better we take this opportunity and continue going to Mecca. So it is stated probably this was...
So we know that they did not come back to Medina.
Yeah, they did not reach.
Instead, the Holy Prophet ﷺ
Sallallahu
set out and encamped at a place called Hamra-ul-Asad.
Exactly.
But we see that even when he was going out, despite the fact that he understood that they have lost many men in the Battle of Uhud,
Yes.
it's counted up to 70, and most of the people who were remaining, most of the soldiers were wounded. They have to tie up their wounds, like you have said, and head to Hamra-ul-Asad. But the Holy Prophet ﷺ, we can see in that scenario that he did not allow others who did not take part in the Battle of Uhud to join them.
Exactly.
So we can see how the Holy Prophet ﷺ has honored even those who were remaining. We have talked about in the previous episode also how he honored and remembered those who fall in the Battle of Uhud.
Exactly.
But Ustaz Demba Sahab, now we know that they did not come back to Medina. Instead, the Prophet ﷺ went there. But apart from the going out of the Prophet ﷺ, was there anything that stopped them from coming back?
Yes, most probably on this occasion, the Holy Prophet ﷺ was visited by one idolater who happens to be a chief of the Kuza tribe named by Ma'bad. He presented himself to the Holy Prophet ﷺ and offered his condolences for those who have fallen during the Battle of Uhud. Then he continued on his way the following day, where he reached Uruha. At this place, lo and behold, he found the army of the Quraysh encamped there. And that preparation were on the way, and the Muslims have already left Medina. They were in where the Ghazwah took place, that is Hamra-ul-Asad. That's where the Muslim encamped. But just for some distance, the Quraysh also were getting ready to come and attack Medina. But this Ma'bad went to Abu Sufyan at once and said, "What are you doing? By God, I have just left behind the army of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam at Hamra-ul-Asad, and never before have I seen such an ill-inspiring army. They are so passionate due to their regret for the defeat at Uhud. They shall reduce you to ash and sights." You know, he told Abu Sufyan this was the situation, and he told him that this is what exactly the Muslims are also not waiting for you in Medina. They are after you. They are not just far from you, so you should take note. And eventually, the Meccans, the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I think we will come to that. He had to wait for some days, 2 to 3 days, and then before he returned back to Medina, when the Meccans have already departed from that place.
Thank you very much, Ustaz Demba and Brother Said Sambaso. Viewers, if you are joining us now, we are here in the studio, MT International Gambia Studios, talking about the life of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And if you have been with us before, we welcome you again. If you are just joining us now, we welcome you to the discussion. Brother Said Sambaso, in that Ghazwa, there were, let's say, 2 factors maybe that forced the Meccans to withdraw, you know, their initial plan to come back to Medina and, like they say, finish the Muslims. One, the fire that was lit at night, and the second, one of them happened to see the Muslims, and he gave them first-hand information about the preparedness of the Muslims to fight, you know, to their death in this situation if they happen to meet again. But Abu Sufyan, who was the commander of the Meccan army in the Battle of Uhud, see that it was better for them to go back, because they have lost in Badr. If they happen to lose in Uhud, that means they would definitely lose everything. But there was something more to this Ghazwa. We know that 2 Muslims were executed, that the Holy Prophet ﷺ found their dead bodies there. But also among the Quraysh, there were people who were executed. Tell us who were these people, and maybe if there is a reason why they were executed.
Jazakumullah, thank you very much. Like you said, there were also some of the Quraysh people whom you know that during this issue, they have been executed by the order of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but with a very genuine reason for that matter. Like we have two individuals who it is recorded from among the Quraysh. One of them was treacherous and the other was a spy. All these people have been captured by the Muslims during war. And then according to the law of war, if you are caught as a spy, the law is that you have to be executed. That is the law that is agreed by all of them. Not only that the Muslim has agreed on this, but that is an agreement, general agreement or common agreement we say. And one of them, it is recorded, was a great poet of the Mecca, and his name is Abu Uzza. So this man has been a captive in the hands of the Muslim during the Battle of Badr. That is the first battle that was fought between the Muslim and the Quraysh of Mecca. So he was one time captured by the Muslims, but he was released without any ransom. The Holy Prophet has released him, and there was a condition that was put in place that he should agree that he will never fight against the Muslims. That was the condition that was put across, that if he want to be released, that he have to agree on this. From today onwards, you should not fight against the Muslim. And if you do so, you are captured, the ultimate result is going to be execution. And this he agreed and he was released. But after a while, he betrayed the Muslim because he later on participated in another battle. And here we see what he also did. And not only that, he did not only betray them, but he was also using provocative poets and language against the Holy Prophet Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Muslim as well. So here, once again, he was captured, and then the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam ordered that he should be executed. And here again, he was trying to seek forgiveness from the Holy Prophet Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then the Holy Prophet has said this. He said, "La yuldahul mu'minu min hujurin wahidin marratain." That is, a believer is not stung by the same hole twice. That means you cannot be fooled twice or more than that. You are fooled once, but the second time you should not allow the same thing to happen to you. So he realized that this man was not honest. And the first time he has betrayed the Muslims. So if he happened to do that, it's like he is trying to fool them. So as a result of that, according to the law of war, that he has to be executed, and the Holy Prophet Muhammad ordered him to be executed. There's another individual, but
so
I believe
we can see that in case of Abu Uzza, yes, there was an agreement.
Exactly.
And there was a breach of agreement, and it was on his part.
Exactly.
He breached the agreement, participated in the Battle of Uhud, and upon that also, added to that, he was also a spy of the Meccan army. And the third thing was he used his couplets to incite others against the Muslims. So we can see there was a genuine reason for this person in particular to be executed in this Hamra-ul-Asad. Ustaz Demba, tell us about the other person.
The second captive was Muawiyah bin Mughira. This individual was from among the relatives of Sayyidina Usman radiallahu ta'ala anhu, Hazrat Usman bin Affan radiallahu ta'ala anhu, the third Khalif of Islam, but was a staunch enemy of Islam or the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. After the Battle of Uhud, he continued to secretly circle the vicinity of Medina. When he was captured by the companions of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was presented to the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Hazrat Usman happened to be a relative. He interceded on his behalf. The Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam released him on the condition that he would leave within 3 days. Otherwise, he would be executed according to the punishment which was meted out to the one who was a spy. So this limit have expired. It was more than 3 days when he was still seen in the vicinity of Medina. Then when he was caught during this time, the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam ordered that he should be executed as soon as possible. And this was done because he was forgiven at first, then in a condition that he should not stay in Mecca or Medina for more than three days. So that 3 days have passed, he was still seen there, moving here and there. We can understand that he was not only keeping himself in Medina, but there was a motive behind that. He wanted to attack the personality of the Holy Prophet ﷺ and killed him. That's why he was moving around the vicinity of Medina. Because we can see that if somebody who at the point even he was caught, there was a death threat on him, and still he wanted to stay in Mecca, in Medina, there was a motive or negative motive behind that, and he was killed by the order of the Holy Prophet ﷺ.
Thank you very much. We have seen these two people, at least their execution was genuine. But if we go back a little, we saw also that some two Muslims were executed for whom we cannot present any reason why they were executed except for the fact that maybe they were Muslims and they were companions of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And as the Meccans have always done, any opportunity they had to kill at least one of the Muslims, they will do so immediately. And even if they had the opportunity to kill the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they will not waste time executing him and taking that as a pride, and maybe even severing their heads and taking them back to Mecca as a public show. But Brother Said Samba, so let's go back a little bit about the Battle of Uhud. Let's see, when we talk about the Battle of Badr, we also talk about the aftermath of the Battle of Badr, or the outcomes of the Battle of Badr. But this Battle of Uhud, what specifically was the outcome? Apart from, we know they fought and the Muslims lost more than what the Meccans lost. But apart from that, what was the outcome?
Yes, thank you very much. Like you said, when we talk about Battle of Badr, we have already talked about the outcome. That was وَيَقْتَوْ دَابِرَ الْكَافِرِينَ, and their back was completely broken, because that's where we see most of their prominent chiefs and leaders were executed. They were killed in that battle. So here also we talk about Battle of Uhud. We said the Muslim has suffered a lot, but when you compare it to Battle of Uhud, Badr, maybe this is going to be like a temporal suffering compared to that of Battle of Badr. Meaning, Battle of Badr, the Quraysh suffered more than the Meccan when you compare to Battle, more than the Muslims when you compare to Battle of Uhud. Like there are certain things that came out after this battle. Like we said, 70 Muslims were killed in this battle, including some of the prominent companions of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, like Hamza, as we already mentioned. And the other thing also, the Jews and the hypocrites who were always secretly against the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They were never in support of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but they were afraid to voice it out, or they were afraid to demonstrate it out, because they know the consequences. But after this Battle of Uhud, this gave them an opportunity at least to have a temporary happiness or joy. So they become bold and they become very happy. Like the chief of hypocrite, Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul, was very happy and he was mocking the Muslims, understand? And the other thing also, the Quraysh of Mecca, who had suffered a great loss in the Battle of Badr, were also relatively bold after the Battle of Uhud, meaning they thought that now they have taken a revenge for Battle of Badr, and they thought that now, even if we go back to the battlefield, we are going to defeat them. And we have realized that Abu Sufyan, when the Muslims suffered, what he was saying, he said, next year by this time we are going to meet, because they thought that they have won, and they thought that they have taken a revenge over Battle of Badr. So this made them happy, this made them bold enough to in fact be calling for another battle for the following year. And the other thing also, the tribe of Arabia in general, they start to raise their heads and they become more courageous. But when we analyze this in generally, although the Muslim has suffered, many people were killed, but comparing it to Battle of Badr, these are completely different, because you can see to read that the Battle of Uhud, although Muslim has suffered, but the Holy Prophet ﷺ, who was the focal point and the target of the Quraysh, has not been killed. I don't understand. And also, most of the prominent companions of the Holy Prophet were not killed. Only we can say maybe one or two, like Hamza and others. Like we are saying, the prominent companions who were very close to the Holy Prophet, most of them were not killed. And also, like we said, after the Battle of Uhud, where they were sitting and discussing whether to go back and not to go back, they have said this. One of them said that we got the opportunity to take their women as captive and to take their property, but we did not do so. So all this thing was not taken, understand? And we can see to it that, like when you compare the Battle of Badr, the chiefs like Abu Jahl, Abu Talib, Utbah, all these people were killed, and these were the focal point of the Quraysh. These were their source of pride. But all this fall down
in... You will put that maybe in our context.
Exactly.
Now, it will be like killing a president of a nation.
Exactly.
And all the what do you call
the
cabinet members. Sparing only two.
Only two.
So if you will put it like that, I think maybe people will understand it better.
Exactly.
You know, like in the Battle of Uhud, what the Muslims did to the Meccans was like killing their president and all the cabinet members,
Exactly.
excluding only two. And one of them, of course, who later on died, even though he did not take part in the Battle of Badr. But Ustaz Demba Sahab, they are saying that time is up, but we would go back to the lesson that we said before, we talked about it before, but we can repeat the lesson that Muslims should learn from this battle. And I think that was, let's say, when we talk about the Battle of Uhud, we say the Prophet ﷺ put 50 men on a pass on the mountain and asked them not to descend until and unless they were ordered. But they tried to interpret that, and then their interpretation sort of brought their defeat and the killing of Hamza, the killing of Mus'ab bin Umair, and many other companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What you repeat maybe that lesson for our viewers maybe to understand?
Yes, the lesson we can learn from this battle is, first important thing is obedience to the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and of course Allah the Almighty, and not only to the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Allah the Almighty, but also who is a leader of any people. He should be obeyed, and the outcome of disobedience might weaken us. So it is very, very important for Muslims to follow directives and obey, especially when it comes to the commandment of Allah the Almighty or His Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is very important. We also have to understand that even in the army, that's why I like the army. They are the most disciplined people if they are disciplined. They are the most disciplined sector, you can say, if they are disciplined, because you hear and obey and complaints. That's what they say. You obey, then later on you lodge your complaints. Yes. So that's why they are very disciplined. Exactly. So you need to obey. That's why the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he reminded us that if even a black slave is put above you or is given a rank over you, you should hear and obey. Even if his head might be small like a grain or a a date nut, something like this, you should hear and obey. You should obey him indeed.
Thank you very much, Ustaz Demba Sahab and Brother Said Sambaso. And thank you very much also our viewers for joining us on this episode on the life of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. On this episode, we were talking about the Hamra-ul-Asad as well as the aftermath of the Battle of Uhud, as well as the lessons that we can learn from this Battle of Uhud. But if you want to read, let's say, the details that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed about this Battle of Uhud, you can just go back to the Quran and read Surah Ali Imran. And you can also visit our website, that is www.alislam.org. You will have enough material to read about the life of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. From now, maybe until our next episode from Muslim International Gambia Studios, we say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
صل على مبيننا صل على محمد صل على نبينا صل على محمد